keeps shaking his head, then that's not a good house.
Hello there. Today, Gail Stanley and I are with Paul McGrone from PJM Inspections. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Victoria. How are you?
I'm good. So today specifically, we just wanted to see, should people expect to have the home inspection the same as it was before the COVID-19?
Yeah, you would want nothing less than a thorough job, regardless of what's going on in the world. The only difference is really the setup. The setup is making sure that everyone has a game plan to make sure it's done safely. And at the end of the inspection, the only difference is that, well, maybe not for everybody, because I know a lot of people still did this before, but that they basically would go in and make sure that they would Lysol or wipe down like faucets and shower handles and flush assemblies and window locks, doorknobs and such. But aside from that, it is the same. Inspectors, I know myself personally and my team, we don't wear gloves in the house. It's almost impossible for us to use a screwdriver without tearing the latex glove. And also, like during our process, we have to feel under the sinks. Sometimes there's slow leaks. You can only feel that with your skin. You're not going to really be able to see it or feel it with a glove. Right. So there's certain things that we have to do the same regardless of what's been going on. But for the most part, I guess your expectation should be, if you're a buyer or a seller, what the gentleman or the lady's going to do coming in to give the house an overview. They want to look at the roof, age and condition. They want to go in the attic and they want to make sure there's no hidden deficiencies, whether they're roof leaks or duct leaks or inadequate insulation, what have you. When we look at these things, including like the AC, the plumbing, and the electrical, one of the things that we're looking for is the age and the condition. And I will tell you that just because something is old or older doesn't mean it's got to be replaced. That's one of the, I think, misconceptions, because often we will say that it's reached the end of its expected life in years, that replacement should be considered when weighing future repairs. We're simply saying that because it's older equipment. If you have to invest $2,000 in it, it may not make sense. But just because it's older doesn't mean it has to be replaced. I mean, if that were true, my wife would have traded me in already. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the reality. That's the truth. And that could be said about water heaters, and that could be said about air conditioning units. It could be said about roof shingles. The only caveat, though, with roof shingles that you need to remember is that we don't have control, even if they're beautiful and in great shape. If they're like 17, 18 years old, just the number assigned to them can cause you a little bit of a challenge when it comes to lenders and insurance companies. So we only have so much control as an inspector. We can say we think it has 2 to 4 more years left on it, 3 to 5 more years left on it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, that's an honest assessment on the materials by us. At the end of the day, when you go to the insurance process, sometimes they may ask questions, and we may or may not be able to help with what they're asking for.
One of the reasons I like to use Paul is because, and his team, is because he handles the customer well. And what I mean by that is I have seen inspectors blow a deal apart for something that was very minor, and I knew, because I watched a lot of inspections, that it was a minor issue. Or they would say, this air conditioner has 10 years of life, and oh my gosh, you're going to have to replace it, but it may be working just fine. And they terrify the buyer. But Paul has a way of handling the buyers to make them know the details, but still be able to make a good judgment based on fact, not fear. And I really appreciate that about your team.
Thanks for the compliment. The only credit I deserve is actually picking a good teacher. One of the guys that had helped me in my business, his name is Bill Smith. He still teaches home inspection courses at IFREC real estate schools. But he always told me that home inspection is like being a general practitioner in medicine. That basically you're there to kind of give an assessment and to evaluate certain things, and then your job stops and you have to refer to a specialist, whatever you feel is necessary for a specialist to look at. So he used to say to me, I don't know many family physicians that says, oh my God, you're going to die, you better just quit living now. You know what I mean? That's not practical. What most physicians do is they'll say, okay, so you have this, you have that. I want you to see a specialist, but I don't want you to be scared. This is the process we have to go through to get an answer. You know what I mean? So that, you know, that always stuck with me, that he taught to me. Yeah, and I love the guy. He's a great guy. He's been in the business a long time. But you know what? You in this business, like real estate, I would assume you have mentors,
Mhm.
and those mentors, I have like 2 or 3 of them that without them, I wouldn't be half of what I am.
Yep.
You know, so I always remember that stuff. So what you just said is very valid. I don't think a lot of inspectors have good mentors, and sometimes, let's just say their bedside manner isn't good,
Yeah.
right? Maybe, I don't know.
And I always tell my customers before an inspection, I said, the inspector cannot tell you not to buy the house, but watch his body language because you can tell a lot from their body language. I said, if he keeps shaking his head, then that's not a good house.
That could be bad. You know, body language could be misleading. Like with us guys, you're dead on because you could read us pretty well. But I have to tell you, and I don't know, Victoria, this is a story for you because I don't know if you know this. Is kind of funny. For years, I could never figure out Gail's facial expressions and what they mean.
Uh-huh.
Right? It took me years to understand that when she looks very serious and concerned, she's just processing information.
Just
Well,
quiet.
One of my guys, Jason, had done an inspection for her, and he didn't know what to make of the facial inspection. He didn't know, and he asked me, and I'm like, she's just processing. He was actually very nervous. I'm like, she's just listening to what you're saying. It took me a while to understand that too.
I get
So
a very
body language is really important, but sometimes it's like a poker face. A good poker face is very hard to read.
You're always downloading information for the buyers. If you don't show a lot of expression, hopefully they'll trust whatever you're saying, that you're giving valuable information to them to decide. Thank you so much, Paul, for being on the call today.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much for having me. Much appreciated. Nice to see you both.